All right, so principles of design. There are a lot of principles of design that add to make they make a design interesting. All right, um, design elements get combined according to principles of design. And here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 principles of design that we're going to talk about right now in class. As soon as my computer starts to actually run. There we go. All right. So the first one is visual balance. Um, that's a physical thing. All right. It's a distribution of elements within a design. And there's two types of, or three types actually, of balance. There is symmetrical balance, which is formal. Then there is asymmetrical, which is informal. And then there's radial, which is circular. So those are the three different kinds. So if you take a look at that picture on the left, the guy with the suit and his hands up, holding on to his lapels, that is, if you took a line and drew it right straight down through the person's body there and had the buttons were the center line, you would notice that it's the same on the left and the right hand side. Now, it's also symmetrical in this vegetable thing that's down in the bottom there. That face has, if you go right down from the middle of the forehead down through the nose and the mouth and such, you'll notice that it's the same on the left and on the right hand side. And then we have symmetrical balance in that useless clock that is right there because it has no numbers or anything on it, right? There's a very famous watchmaker out there, Movado, I think is the name of it. Anyways, their watch is a black face with a little diamond at 12 o'clock, and the hands are gold, and they sell those watches for crazy money, and people buy them. I don't know why myself, but whatever. So this picture with the clock brings back those memory of that watch anyways. So on to the next one. And we have what is called asymmetrical balance. And asymmetrical balance is informal. The elements within the design are not identical, but are arranged to provide visual weight. So if we have these cups, if you put a line right down between the two sets of cups, the 4 on the left and then the 1 on the right, that's asymmetrical balance. And this one's a little bit harder for me, this particular picture. The one on the right, where we have the white and the black sneakers, that's a little bit easier for me to understand how that is or would be or should be considered asymmetrical balance, because they're the same things. And that's true for the cups too. They're the same things, but one in that instance is white and the other is the opposite color of white, which would be black. This is radial balance. That's a distribution of components in a circular pattern around a center point. So we have these, like automobile wheels are very much a symmetrical balance when you look at them. As a matter of fact, if you don't have them symmetrically balanced, they're going to run off. They're going to run weird, and they'll actually sound like you got a square wheel on the car. I've been showing this PowerPoint for about 5 years now, and it took me until this year. I was looking at the picture on the right-hand side with all the little lines, well, not lines, but the little like octagons in it and colors and stuff like that. And if you take a look at that picture up close, you'll see that that yellow line that goes up in the middle has a person standing in it. And then in the very middle is a little circle, and it looks to me like that little circle is the Earth. So that's kind of an interesting little thing, I guess, to me. Anyways, all right. Emphasis is used to draw attention to an area. It's a focal point, and it's a feature in the design that attracts your eye. Now, when you look at this, okay, what I want you to do, I'm going to ask a couple of you what you think is the point of emphasis in this. I want you to look at this, and I want you to get in your mind what it is, and then I won't ask everybody, but a couple people what is that point of emphasis. Emphasis can be achieved through size of an item, through placement, by shape, contrast, which is, opposing colors, or the use of lines. So, Chris, what do you think is a point of emphasis in that picture there for you? Pardon me? The shelf? Are we talking about the squiggly one here? Okay. All right. Did did anybody think of something else that might be a point of emphasis for them? John, what'd you think? Yeah, and this would be an example probably of position, and certainly I would maybe why Chris, why do you think that this list of 5 things here? Okay. Good. Yeah. That's that's a really good explanation of it. It's not any one thing; it's a bunch combination. When I look at this, you know what I noticed? And I mean, I really believe, and Chris, you got it right on the nose for what I think would probably be the majority of people with regards to this picture. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people talk about this wavy shelf, and that was a really good explanation. I, after a couple of years of looking at this, now when I see this picture, what I pay attention to are these 2 little vases down here in the front. Uh, but that's because I've seen this picture about 5,000 times. All right, here we go. What's the point of emphasis in this? What do you think, Aiden? Go ahead. Yeah, the color of these USBs, right? These are only 64 gigabytes, so these are kind of small USBs for today's day and age. But yeah, definitely. Okay. Here we go. Contrast. Contrast is the degree of relative difference between elements. So we have these like pillars down here on the left-hand side. We've got 1 red one and then 3 green ones. That's contrast. We also have the chair here that has the green cushion in it and then the white body of it. You'll also notice that they're saying, hey, not only do we have this really cool green color, but we got this maroon color here. And look, here's another way you can sit in this chair by turning it over or turning it around or what. Yeah, that's just turned around. It's not turned over. But anyways, so that's contrast. So that's contrast in color. And then the one on the right is contrast in value. Um, Texture can also be contrasted. Size of things, that's probably a good one for this one, and style between the two of them are also contrast. In line drawings, a designer can provide emphasis with fills of color in an otherwise neutral composition. So you can see the yellow people in this vehicle. They're showing that this thing can seat 5 people, well, 4 people plus the driver. And they're also explaining that the doors are going to open wide enough for a person in a wheelchair to perhaps sit in this van. And you can open up the nose of it and put something inside of it. It's probably a vehicle intended for like inner city use or something of that nature, I would guess. Then we have rhythm, and that is the repeated uses of lines or shapes or colors or texture or patterns. It's a harmonious pattern or sequence. And there's 4 types of rhythm. There's regular rhythm, there's random rhythm, gradiated rhythm, and graduated rhythm. This is regular rhythm. We can see this in like a lot of a lot of tiles. That's what the picture on the left-hand side is. This is like a tiling thing, and then bricks in this also. But this pattern repeats the same all the way across. So here we have a block up here. This one is step down, then we go up, and then we step down, then we go up, and then we step down, and then that pattern would continue across. Then we also have these nesting cups that have that shape to them, and that shape works to put the cups together and to create a pattern. Here's graduated rhythm. It's the repeated element is identical with the exception of one detail, either increasing or decreasing gradually within each repetition. So we have these tables down here. They just vary by the height and the width probably on these tables. So there's actually two details changing on these, but these tables slide underneath each other. Then we have, I call these Russian nesting dolls. We have one of these at my house. My grandson loves to play with this because this one fits in this one. These two fit inside of this one. These three fit inside of this one. And then these four fit inside of this one. Yeah, he just thinks that's the coolest thing. Random rhythm is the repetition of the element is random or situated at irregular intervals. So we have on the left-hand side here, we have this like wall decoration. They've got sand. They've got a large, deep bucket of sand and a narrower bucket of sand here. They're built in the same way. They've got the same color of woods and the same locations going across, and they've got the same, like I said, shade of or color of woods going for the body of the sand bucket. This guy right here, anybody want to venture a guess as to where this picture might come from? India? Maybe. You can see buildings like this certainly in India, like the Taj Mahal, I think would probably be one that had a structure like this. What do you think, Aiden? I would suspect this is something in Russia. I've seen this picture before. But here the random rhythm is this, to me anyways, is this shape of this, I guess I'll call it a roof for now. But these things are different sizes, but they're different. They're the same shape, just repeated over and over. And they're certainly irregular. One's this height, another one's this height. This one's more forwards. This one's kind of small and down in the back. So it's kind of an interesting building. Actually, I'm not sure what this building is, if it's one of their government buildings or not over there. It's kind of something maybe I should look that up someday. All right, proportion. That is the comparative relationship between elements in a design with respect to size. Scale is something about has to do with proportion or the size of an element in relation to the other elements. So this bottle is easily twice the size of this person that's standing in this picture. So the proportion of this bottle to this picture is 2 because it's twice the size of this guy right here. So it's 2 to 1. So that's a little bit about proportion. Then we have unity, that is the consistent use of design elements. Here we have probably Crayola crayons. The crayons are just very, very, very similar, but the only one difference between all of them is that they have different colors. I was walking around in New York City with my wife a couple of years ago. We went on a vacation and went to New York City, and we were down in Times Square, and they have the big Lego store in Times Square. And one of the things that I saw, and I took a picture of it, and I can't find it right now. I'll show it to you otherwise. I saw a picture like it was in the Lego's window. And as I got closer to it, it was something similar to this. I don't remember even what the picture was of right now. But what they had done is you know, the little Lego people, the construction guys, they had taken the hats and changed the color of the hats. So they had created the same effect. When you were further back, you couldn't see the detail of them being the little guys. And then when you got up close, it was the little guys. And I just thought that was so cool. I also saw a Ronald McDonald Lego thing down in Florida at Disney World. That was a few years ago, like 20. Anyways, all right. So economy is another principle of design here. The principle of economy promotes the simplification of elements of design to express a message. Using extraneous elements in the design can be distracting and confusing for the user. If you can remove an element within a design and the design still accomplishes its goals within the constraints, you have practiced economy of design. Graphic signs provide a good example of economy because they often simplify an idea with only essential details. So, what do you guys think? Ben, what do you think that little yellow post-it note is telling someone that walks up to this car or truck, whatever it is? Yeah, that the fuel is empty, right? The gas tank is depleted. What would be another graphic sign? Where might you see a lot of graphic signs that don't have any words on them, but they still convey a message? When you're 16, you're going to be worried about these signs. Check engine light might be. Yeah. Aiden? Road signs. Yeah. Is that what you had too, Ben? Yeah. Road signs. Um, two things about that. One, if you go to across this country, you'll notice that the road signs are very much always similar from state to state. Same thing in Europe. Our set of signs is really different than they are in Europe. But there's the idea behind these graphic signs is that you have the ability, if you're not a native speaker of that language, to still get the information from the sign. So, if you have a circle with a cross through it and it's over like a black image of some sort or another, that circle with a cross through it means no or don't. All right. So, graphic signs are good examples are roadways. Here is economy of design. And in the design process, many objects include meticulous details. For instance, the design of a vehicle involves details of mechanics and electronics and ergonomics, visual appeal, materials, all kinds of stuff. Designers will focus on a basic element at the beginning stages of a design and a form of economy or design. Here you see concept sketches for the exterior shape of a vehicle. So this thing's pretty interesting. I'm not sure that any of those actually got bought or built, but there are similar vehicles out there. Ariel Atom is one. Jay Leno, I don't know if you've ever seen Jay Leno's website, but he has a pretty cool collection of cars, and he has a couple of different vehicles that look somewhat similar to this. Okay, so your job, or whatever I might want to say there, is to have your 5 designs done, and then to make sure you do your decision matrix, and then go on to the nice sketch of your final-ish completed design. Okay, so let's get to going to work on that.